Rock and roll, everyone. 'Tis we, the crew of the USS Iskandar, back again to kick ass, take names, and not in that order. Give us your names, all of them. This is a hold-up. Didn't expect that, did you? Anyway, as you might have noticed, I'm back on proper technology with, internet and Wi-Fi and stuff. It is 1,000,000 degrees, so Kath can not close the door of her office, which means that there will be an increased quantity of cat in this episode. So if you are offended by cats, what's wrong with you, really? But that being said, the only bit of housekeeping is that helps and hinders are continue to be off for a little bit. But if you are desperate to help and hinder, there is of course systems in place to do so without spending trash bags, spending instead real money. And if you do that via PayPal and just message us that you've done it, we will take your word for it and pass that information on to the GM. I am working on getting them turned back on, but the system to do so is arcane and not intuitive in the slightest. What's that? Something that connects to Twitch isn't intuitive in the slightest? It's funny if you know how Twitch works or doesn't. But that being said, we're quite happy for you to do that if that is a thing you wish. I think it's $5 and then $5 and a single red cent for a help and a hinder, respectively. But that being said, welcome to this, which is part 2 of episode, of Star Trek Iskandar, The Lonely Sea and Sky, a adventure for the crew of the USS Iskandar, whomst are the 4 of us. That's right. The 4 of us are the crew and also occasionally the GM, although we tend to take it in turns. And the person who has very, very bravely volunteered to be storyteller for this grand adventure is, of course, Emily, whomst is above me, so I can do this. But the rest of us, being Izzy, Mike, and Kath, are the rest of the crew, and we gather together on Tuesdays to play Star Trek. You know how this goes. But I am going to hand straight back over to our GM, who can break down as little or as much as of what has occurred as she deems necessary, and you can enjoy the shenanigans that we are up to. And for anyone who's watching not in England, it's 1,000,000,000,000 degrees where all of us are right now. So if we are operating a bit slowly, then, cut us some slack. Over to you, Roomba.
So, welcome back. Yes, this is part 2 of The Lonely Sea and Sky, which is episode 8 or 9, I think. 13. Fuck. Yep. Wow. We've done more episodes than I thought. So, episode 13, part 2. Previously on Star Trek Iskandar, the crew of the Iskandar have found a weird spaceship. It's in the middle of bugfuck nowhere. How did it get here? Why is it here? We still don't actually know, but what we do know is that it's been here out in space a while, probably about 150 to 200 years, and, well, they haven't found life signs, but something happened, because there's robot zombies on the spaceship.
I wrote down 150 to 200 years, couple years, and gross. Those were my session notes.
Gross. Those, to be honest, I could have just got Kath to read the session notes from last time, because that tells you basically everything you need to know. 150 to 200 years, couple of years, gross. Tag yourself. So we will launch pretty much straight back in where we left off, where our bold and brave away team of Lieutenant Reyes, Lieutenant Zal, Lieutenant Casey, and Commander Talandra have just gone. They've gone through engineering. They've gone through the crew quarters and found not a lot except for a photograph and the dead body that Casey left behind. Not his own dead body, just one that he'd made into a dead body after he found it.
Casey killed a man.
Sam Casey killed a man.
Sam
A
Casey
little
killed a
Sammy
man.
boy.
Little Sammy boy's a murderer.
Little Sammy boy's a stone cold killer.
Stone
Yep.
Cold. Steve Austin.
Yeah.
Da 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 da.
That's John Cena. That's the
I
John
know.
Cena music.
So yeah, Sam Casey has turned into John Cena and also killed a man. So presumably from here we're off into the next room at the end of the corridor. Unless people want to tell me otherwise. Gonna take that as a no.
I don't make decisions around it.
No, you don't. But the person who makes the decisions wasn't disagreeing with me, so I'm taking that as a yes, you're moving on.
I mean, I don't think there's anything else we can do until then, so I'm eating ice.
It's all right. I
Eating
welcome it.
ice is big and clever. I
Crunch,
eat my
crunch.
ice, except the ice is currently enormous and won't actually fit in my face yet. Because it all fused together into one big blob of ice.
Just while I remember everything that was going down, I'm pretty sure that's what we do. We plug on with the thing that's happening.
Yep.
Mhm.
So, go up to the next door. Again, Rose, you've made doors your bitch. I'm not going to make you roll to open them. Just if the door starts to fight you, you'll have to make some rolls. But in this case, the door does not fight you.
Getting some real classic LARP events where monsters play doors as obstacles sometimes. Vibes out of these
this
doors.
does have a bit of that energy, actually.
The door, I've fucking aced this door, and I know I'm going to be an awkward door, and I might fight you. Okay, all right.
Yeah, like we've given this the person playing the store a couple of daggers to fizz wrap this. Like,
All right,
please
alright.
fight the door.
shift the door.
Shift
No,
the
I've
door.
already made the doors my bitch.
No, it's cool. I've not given whichever random student is playing the door any knives this time. You can go through. Through in the next room
Right, I'll
is
go first.
oh yeah,
Zol can go first. Or is
Zol
Zol
can
at the
go
back
first.
and Talandra's at the front?
yeah.
Oh,
what,
Zol.
what order are you guys going through the door? Actually, now
Not
that Ray's
me
got it open.
first.
Not you first. Okay.
Big Blue. Then
Then the
probably
squishy techno wizards in the middle.
And then Talandra's got a point.
yeah.
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 Point is front.
Oh. Fuck.
Back point. Reverse
you know,
point.
Rhea.
Other point.
The anus.
Point, but.
The point and
James
butt.
edit this out.
You point to your head. Point. Butt.
No, I was like point,
Oh, right.
but.
So I'll go
Jesus.
Yeah,
point.
that's the order.
Talandra
That's the
goes
order.
butt.
Okay, so Zell brings up the head. We've got Reyes
Zal
and
does-
Casey in the middle,
Does have a good
and Talandra is the butt.
Another sexy episode.
This is what you want to spend your evening on, folks. So you go through in this now well-established order. In the next room, you find this room's a bit bigger. It's a bigger space. It has several doors coming off it. Same thing happens after all four of you are through. Doors shut behind you. Seems to be how the door AI works in this ship. But there are. Let me just check my notes. 1, 2, 3. About 4 or 5 doors coming off of this room, not counting the one you've just come through. There are some tables out in the middle with benches alongside. And is this going to be notice or investigate? Pick out details at a glance. I'm going to say notice checks unless you're immediately going for like scouring the room for information. No, make anybody who's trying to like pick up what's going on in this room, make me some notice checks. I was hoping Reyes would be getting the good one, but evidently not.
Critical fail.
So Reyes, you immediately trip over a table and fall flat on your face.
Eat shit, idiot.
+1.
+1 for Talandra. What do the boys have?
Zal got a 1.
Okay.
Let's do Casey.
What about the small boy?
Small boy notices the universe. Small boy's eyes have never been more open. On a 6.
At a 6. Okay. Okay. Reyes, you don't notice shit. Like,
I look
It's a
at the door. I turn my
Yeah.
back on the room.
it's like the most you've noticed is it's a room. Got some tables in it. Cool. Those of you who got 1s, the layout of this is kind of reminiscent of a mess room kind of thing, a canteen. It's got that kind of look to it. Casey, on a +6, you notice that there's something. There are bits missing from the walls. Like panels have been taken off from the walls of this room.
Oh, head on over. Start poking a panel. And the moment I have a suspicion, I'm going to go and make sure that I'm not just pulling this out my ass. And the moment I realize that panels have been pulled out and this is more technical, I'm going to call for Lieutenant Reyes.
What?
It looks like there's been panels removed. Possibly some equipment tampered with. Here.
Over.
Yeah. Make me an engineering check.
That's a 6.
6. Cool.
+1 on the dice. So.
That's all you need. But yeah, so you go over to the hole in the wall that Casey's found and start having a poke inside. When you start getting into it, obviously you don't know exactly what was in here before, but it is very clear that some stuff has been taken out. That there are parts missing from in here. Doesn't look like anything critical has had bits removed from it. Like, none of it looks like it's been taken from, like a life support system or major electronics. It's more like, somebody took out the lighting circuits and those have been taken out. Somebody took out some random bits of cable that weren't doing a lot. Somebody took out the spares for things.
Components bypassing the need of them, that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Some stuff's been bodged back together maybe to make it work, carry on working with bits removed, but generally
The pattern seems to be what could be spared rather than any particular indication of anything.
yeah, it's not like anything particular has been targeted. If you go and have a look at any of the other holes in the wall where a panel's been taken off, different bits have been taken out in different places.
Yeah. Looks like someone at some point was looting these bits for parts. Not really sure what, other than anything that could be taken out without stopping things from operating.
Do they
Have
correspond?
any idea how long ago?
Difficult to tell because it's kind of bodge jobs, but you'd probably get a mix of times.
And likelihood that this has been used to create a cyborg? Would be.
You'd probably guess about at least 75% chance that these are parts that were in the cyborg, but without dragging the body back and going, did this bit come from here?
Yeah.
You couldn't say for certain whether these bits were what you found in your mate down the hallway.
Could have been done for the maintenance work on our buddy back there, but at the same time, we're talking about quite a lot of fairly generic components that have been ripped out, because those are the ones which it's easiest to bypass, etc., etc. So they could be used for a lot of different things.
But it is telling that they took technology that was non-essential.
Non-essential. Yeah. Whatever they're doing, it's not got so urgent that they're ripping out life support from a section of the ship, so far as we can tell, or any of the other things I'd do if I were in a... They're in a pinch, not a crunch.
Talandra's face is unreadable as she translates that.
She gets that Vulcan, like, expressionless expression.
The expression of, I'm being humaned at. And she goes,
Cyborg man is pretty crunch.
She will glance to Zal for the security assessment, and if he passes off, then it will be to let the techies do a proper breakdown of the computing, I guess.
He'll sign off on that with words to the effect of, "I don't see any immediate danger for pursuing that."
Reyes, Casey, get what information you can from the ship system.
Oh. What do we got for access points?
In here, not a lot.
Okay.
You've got door systems again at both both the one you came through and the other doors you've not gone through. There are a couple of other panels in the room, and by panels I mean like your computer panels.
Yeah.
There are also other wall panels that have been taken off and more bits that are missing, so you could probably get some more information from those. So there's some options in here if you want to have a good thorough investigate of what's going on from this room.
Still not entirely. There's no obvious route either, which is the bridge. Is there like a big main door ahead, or is this just like we have 5 doors? One of them lies.
It is a bit one of these doors tells the truth and the other only lies. They all look kind of the same. There's no like obvious sign saying bridge this way.
Right.
So like you could go and open them and go, what's in this next room? Yes, no, and work your way around or something. But
basically, then, do you want to?
There's some options here.
Do you want to take a look at the displays? At the very least, see if we can get like a route to the bridge. I will look at the other panels, see if anything else has been looted out of them, and also see if I can maybe find an ODN relay, which would be piping very likely straight to the bridge, or whatever they have, which passes for an ODN relay in approximate 200 years ago technology.
Yes, absolutely.
Right.
Okay. Techies, make me your respective techie roles for what you're looking at. Reyes engineering. Casey, what are you actually looking at?
Oh, that's a fair point. I actually
because it's either science or an engineering role, but it's which one you do.
I would love. What specifically is Reyes looking for?
Oh, Reyes was just suggesting, like, at a bare minimum, can we figure out which is the way to the bridge? Is what she's suggesting. Mm-hmm. Obviously, if you can find more, that's good.
I think, like, 1, yes. 2, I would also essentially like to try and reverse engineer diagnostic on this system to see if any data banks that exist within the ship are corrupted, or if there's going to be an opportunity to get information out of consoles. And I appreciate this is Star Trek, so it's going to be get to the relevant console and get the information from that rather than download.
Yeah, no, I see where you're going with this. So, I think I'd still make that an engineering check rather than a science check.
I agree with you.
So, yeah. Kath, have you rolled your...
Oh, yes, I have. That is a 7. I rolled and then,
Jesus.
like, forgot that this happened.
I got an 8.
Fuck. You
Nice.
out-engineered the engineer.
She'll love
Um,
that.
Don't tell her.
She did just call me Wonderkin, so she's clearly like got my number.
Yeah, but I think deep down she wanted to call you Wonderkin, and then you could fail, and then she could go,
Idiot, and push me to the dirt and spit in my eye.
Yeah.
Listen, we don't have to play the science versus engineering game.
I don't
I'm
want to
better
with
than
you.
you at
I'm
my
afraid
job.
of you. Yes,
Good.
whatever
Yeah.
job. You tell me a job, I'll tell you you're better than me at it.
Here's the thing, Casey is always playing the science versus engineering thing and doesn't get that Reyes isn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't have to play the science versus engineering thing. You, on the other hand, can crack on. See if I can. Right, okay, so we'll start with Reyes. So you go and have a poke at a couple of the door panels and a rummage through some of the bits where the circuitry's been exposed to get an idea of, is there anything that looks like main things feeding to what could potentially be the bridge. What you get for looking at that kind of stuff is two of these doors have got quite major circuitry and cables going kind of in their direction. Quite a lot of data clearly gets put to these two rooms. So you'd make a fairly...
Something's in there.
so something's in there. I'm trying to think what else I can give you because it's a 7.
Mm-hmm. Anything else been looted?
Yeah, other stuff has been looted. In fact, no, with the 7, I'll give you. In one of the panels, you're in there. You're having a rummage round, and you notice that not only have some wires and a bit of metal been taken out, but there are actually some what's the word? Can't think of the word. Some parts that have been taken out from here, like actuators and stuff like that, that you're fairly certain would match up with some of the parts you saw on like the hand and the wrist of your pal that you met.
Yeah, I think Reyes will feel out of that with definitely data flow to whatever's on those two doors. Might be bridge, might be a computer bay, I don't know. And yeah, they definitely
you'd be fairly certain one
stuff.
of them's a bridge, one of them's a computer bay,
Yeah.
or maybe both of them are a computer bay, and one of them is also the bridge.
Yeah.
Casey, remind me again what you were looking for.
Basically, confirmation of directions to the bridge, and
Yep.
then also like reverse diagnostic on system. Like if I can't interface
Oh yeah,
with
you
the
were looking
system,
for
I
if
will.
something's been corrupted. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have a look at. I'm going to say you're looking at one of the door panels in a bit more detail, and having a look through what you can access of the system through that, since those are the systems that are most clearly been identified as these are working and these are responding in some way. You're having a look through, flick through the files, and then quite suddenly the system tries to lock you out.
Huh.
And not in a you just tried to open something and got told you can't access this. It's you were in the middle of something and then it tried to lock you out.
only one of two possible conclusions. Either there is an agent manually shutting... Sorry, this is a tangent from my thought on the doors. I think either there is someone manually shutting us out of things such as rooms, and right now, the system, I've just been locked out, and not from any error on my part, just my session was disconnected. Or the system itself is doing it.
Yeah, when I was trying to keep the door open, the system kept adapting to my efforts.
The system is adapting.
Well, I don't know exactly. As you say, it could be a person. On the other hand, like, actively trying to counteract. But if it was a person in intelligence at the other hand of it, and they wanted to lock me out of stuff, why haven't they just sealed doors and stuff?
How much power would that take on a vessel like this?
Well, you kind of just turn them off.
Hmm.
And also, they were trying to do other things to, like, stop me from keeping a door open. I haven't noticed doors get increasingly hard for me to open. I haven't noticed them trying to do things to forestall our progress. I tried to keep the door open, and the system didn't like me trying to keep the door open, and was just very adaptive as I tried. It could be a person, but then I don't know what they're doing.
I'm going to try and get back into the system following the exact pathway that I did before.
It'll probably not work.
I try it.
Work. You hit basically the same point as you did before and get the same lockout message.
Interesting. I would like to try and find some means of communication. However, jeez.
Apologies for that. Didn't get to the mute button in time.
That's it.
I would like to try and form with some kind of communication, even just a message that could be responded to try and inform them, whatever they might be, of our intention, and that we mean no harm. However, if it's constantly adapting and blocking out our routes, we only have a finite number before we lose any access altogether.
If this is a communicable person, then I'm pretty sure that they'll have seen us through the buddy back there. Pretty sure that the optics in the eyes. They've had a lot of chances to watch us and learn about us. Like, I say we go to the beating heart of the bridge.
Okay.
Or at least a main central control section where we can get better access to the systems, rather than just trying to jury-rig the door systems into sending a hello ping.
Shall do. Yes.
Whereas they say that with, like, oh, look to Talandra in a...
Whilst you two are having a rummage around in the electronics, Talandra and Zal, can you make me some notice checks? And I'm just going to mute myself because motorbike's back.
He did garbage. He did garbage. The himbo did a fail.
Was it notice?
Yep, notice checks, please.
Flat 0.
Flat 0. And when you say fail, like, are we talking actual fail or just garbage?
He didn't do great. He got 2.
Oh.
I mean, technically, I think that actually is.
That's a success on a standard difficulty.
Yes.
That's a pretty good success. Shut up.
Yeah, that's a success. That's not a fail. That's a positive number. Have a positive attitude to go with your positive number. Okay. Talandra, you don't pick up anything on a 0, I'm afraid.
Talandra is looking out for like that thing charging back in the room. If that's
yeah, exactly.
And
that is in fact not what happens. Zal, you on a 2 whilst Ray is and Casey are up to their elbows in computer, you hear heavy footsteps coming from one of the rooms off of where you are. Not the room, not where you just came from either.
Someone's moving out there.
Where?
Gestures with his head. Notably not where we came from. So unlikely to be the former cyborg. It sounded heavy though.
That could be a problem.
It could be.
What is it with... No, that's me. What is it with motorbikes harassing us tonight?
Maybe it's the same bike.
Yeah, unfortunately, I have moved from a quiet little cul-de-sac to a busy road, so... we shall have to investigate. She'll look back at the other door and ascertain how secure they are. Talandra's reasoning is, if we go and investigate this new thing, are we leaving these two open to getting jumped from...
We're in a room with so many doors.
Yeah, you're in a room with about 4 or 5 doors coming off it, plus the one that you came through. There are many ways in and out of this canteen kind of room that you're in.
Then she'll be letting them know that she and Zal are going to go investigate, so that they are aware of the security of the situation. But they are also Starfleet officers, and she can't babysit them.
Yeah.
She doesn't say that last.
I need you to know, we're going to go and investigate a noise we heard. You aren't babies.
You aren't babies, therefore you'll be fine.
Hey, you haven't brought both the sad boys along. That doesn't need to be said.
Yeah. Nevertheless,
off you go through to the door where the mystery noise came from. I say mystery noise, you know it's footsteps. Or Zal does.
the mystery
Could be.
footsteps. Yeah, but I trust Zal, so like.
So it's fact. If you tell me it isn't, you're a liar.
Yeah.
As you get up to the door that you heard the footsteps behind, that door just opens.
Huh.
Don't like that.
And just roll the thing. Oh,
11 zombies coming at us.
Yep, okay, that's what that dice roll means. Through that door comes a very similar, but not quite the same, not identical, but similar looking, pallid green skinned, where there's actually skin, and wearing robotics on all the rest of the visible flesh, or where there used to be flesh. But through that door comes another of these cyborgs.
Oh, that's not right.
It doesn't react to you.
In which case, when you say doesn't react, do you mean it doesn't move towards us, or that it doesn't see us?
Yes.
Fuck.
By which I mean it doesn't see you. Or you don't know if it's seen you, because it doesn't like turn its head to look at you in the same way that the other one did. Whether it's seen you and is just ignoring you, can't tell. But it doesn't move towards you. It doesn't react to your presence.
No, that's fair. Talandra lowers her phaser because I don't know why I feel pathologically like I need to explain all of her motivations. Talandra lowers her phaser,
Do it.
and she will step forward again towards this thing slowly and non-threateningly, like not within its reach, but
Yeah.
an instance of like she is aware that if she steps forward, Zal has his phaser, Reyes and Casey almost certainly will be scanning the bejesus out of it. And she wishes, these things are not, she doesn't think these, you shouldn't assume that things are an entire entity. We might have just run into Jim, the aggressive guy who everyone hates, and we're going to meet this one. He'll be like, oh, did you meet Jim? Oh, fuck that
did you
guy.
meet Angry Jim?
Angry Jim, that guy.
We tried to get Angry Jim not to meet the new folks, but, Angry Jim get him angry.
Yeah. Talandra does not assume, Talandra doesn't bring violence into situations that don't call for them.
That's fair.
But
Is anybody else going to wake up and choose violence today?
Zal.
Scanning the shit out of it.
Yep.
Zal is moving basically in a position where he can intercept should something happen. Like his whole idea right now, like he hasn't even pulled his phaser out of its holster.
Okay.
He's just ready to go and try and restrain if there's a need to do so.
Yeah.
Okay. It still doesn't react to any of you, and just walks across the room to the door that you came through to come into here. Gets to the door. It's not moving particularly quickly. If any of you want to stop it.
I think Casey will voice quietly in the manner of someone who is not about to enact this plan. This could be an opportunity to try and open communication.
Tried to talk to him earlier.
Not this one.
The team leader.
Talandra's definitely following and will have attempted to communicate if it looks like it's moving. Like, I know it's already walked across the room and primacy of order of saying things, but like, if it
as I've said, it walks across the room. It is walking across the room. Like, letting this kind of happen concurrently rather than
Talandra's not stopping
primacy.
things. Talandra wants to open a dialogue, and if it's not interested in that, then it's not interested in that. But she will at least be trying.
Okay, so you are trying to talk to.
Yeah, usual. I am Lieutenant Commander Talandra of the USS Iskandar. We do not have hostile intentions aboard this vessel, but we have come under attack once before. We wish to communicate peacefully.
Reaction. Still nothing.
Reyes, Casey?
While I'm scanning it,
Yes.
can I pick up? I guess the word I'm looking for is Wi-Fi. Like, if it's
No, I know what you
is it
mean.
in a remote contact with any of the ship systems? From a perspective which could either suggest is it receiving orders, or does it have a means of me digitally communicating with it, sending it a ping?
Make us a check.
Engineering.
Yeah. Yeah, I might actually make this an ops check.
That's fine. That's a 4.
Yeah, okay, yeah, a 4. Based on your study of, the still one and looking at how this new cyborg is acting, it looks like it was almost certainly taking orders from a system somewhere, and that is what is kind of directing its actions.
But I've not no real detection of anything on it or any means of opening a comm to it.
Not especially unless you're going to get hold of it and actually jack in.
No, that's the opposite of what I want to
That's
do.
the opposite. No, unfortunately, you don't know the Wi-Fi password. So getting into the Wi-Fi is hard. It's going to have to be a cabled internet job.
Oh, well, that's a no-go.
But you can certainly, through scanning and going, okay, so there's a signal coming in here, that signal's going into the, okay, it's receiving a signal of some kind.
Interesting stuff. Right, yeah, Reyes will go. Pretty sure it is receiving a signal, so instructions are in pretty regular communication with some central system or person. Is my bet.
And yet, they have not chosen to communicate with us.
I wonder if he's going for his buddy.
Perhaps.
There is minor horrified expression from Casey at that. It looks like that's given him something worrying to think about.
Oh, poor sweet boy.
It's that he killed a man.
He's gonna mourn his friend.
Is he now effectively singing the opening of Bohemian Rhapsody in his head?
He's grieving like a swan that's lost its mate. This beautiful creature. How did I strike it down so? Corpse zombie. Corpse
just
cyborg
killed
zombie.
a man.
Why did you have to go Yorkshire for that?
I don't know. That started off Scots as well, and then suddenly, why is Casey's Conscience narrated by both of my characters?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why is Conscience narrated by Cantos?
Yeah, like Strange. Strange is still a bit of a weird choice for Casey's Conscience, given what Strange is like and what he's done recently. But logic there. Why Cantos?
Everyone should have an inner Cantos.
Yes, but maybe not telling them what to do. Or maybe not to be listened to.
Fuck it. I know, I should give it up. No. Thank you, Izzy.
No, like we all know what advice that anybody's inner Cantos would give to them. It's rarely good advice, but when it is good advice, it is excellent advice. 60% of the time, it works every time.
You should always listen to a dinner. Whether or not you take the advice is another matter, but you should always at least listen to them.
It's rude to not listen.
Yeah, it's polite.
And as Casey looks on, slightly horrified at the potential consequences of his actions, and a little Strange and a little Cantos appear on his shoulders to give him advice in this troubling time, the new cyborg that has entered this room just goes through to the corridor in the living quarters that you came from, and the door shuts behind them.
Zal, Reyes, go and monitor what it does.
Okie dokie.
Okie
That's how I
dokies.
respond to that.
Oh, yes, Commander, but okie dokie is definitely not my vibe. Yeah. Follow the cyborg as it goes to mourn its mate that we murdered.
Mourning its mates. It's pining for its mate.
What again? Why?
I'm pretty sure that's not the advice I'm giving you here. Like, who's this other Scottish fella that's giving you advice here, Casey?
Wee beady eyes.
Yeah.
I
guess
we would
go
like to
follow it.
apologise for all of this.
Guess we follow it.
It's 9
I
o'clock.
guess
It's
you
time
follow
for a
it.
I guess-
regularly scheduled trash apology.
Zal follows it
Yeah.
first.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Keeping
like-
just
Talandra is sending Reyes in case something technologically significant
Oh, it
happens.
makes sense.
Not
She gets it.
And
She just
Zal, in
doesn't.
case the problem needs flexing at.
She
Yeah,
gets it. She just doesn't like it.
yeah, you don't have to like it. It'd be
I
weird
want-
if you did, to be honest. There's a
Really, her
fucking
biggest
zombie
problem
robot.
is the fact that one reaction was okie dokie, which is not a vibe.
I am going to stay ideally 2 Zal strides, which is approximately a mile behind it. No, genuinely, like I want to be able to, if needs be, lunge at it to stop it.
I'm
I don't
so much
think
further
I'm-
back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I was assuming that whatever Mike said about where Zal was in this situation, Reyes is going to be at least like 5 steps further back.
Yeah, but like with this proximity, like that's close. That's close.
Yeah, two steps ain't a lot, but okay.
Yeah. No, like
That's
strides.
like 5 feet away. That's still like 5. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
a bit more
I
than that,
stick
but
by
yeah.
it. I stick
Okay.
by it. Like
Okay.
I'm basically, I'm not gonna get. Oh, this is my fighting stance. He's keeping kind of low shoulders. He's ready to get defensive if need
Ready
be.
to rumble.
Yeah, like
I will watch.
he doesn't anticipate this being a fight because he doesn't think these things are that fighty. We know that one did a grab, so maybe they're not great with personal space. But if it like goes to a wall panel, draws a pistol and aims it at someone, like phaser, and aims it at someone, I need
Do you
to
know they've
disarm
got
that
phasers? They might
weapon.
still have
Have phaser
projectiles.
tech.
They could be projectiles. Imagine like getting a fucking 6-shooter pointed at me.
Or
What's
if
that?
it gets a fucking shotgun.
It's fine. Strange isn't here to have the projectile weapons. It's fine. Talandra will not get shot in the head.
Yeah,
Talandra
just-
probably won't get shot in the head.
Yeah, don't make these
I-
promises.
Yeah, I can't
I'm-
make these promises. I don't know what you lot are gonna do.
It's true. We don't.
But yes,
Yeah.
okay. So yeah, Zal, you're staying fairly close on its heels.
Yep.
And Reyes, you're staying much further back. Reyes, you still need to go and get the door open. Because
I open the door.
you open the door, but then you go through Zal first, Reyes a farewell after, and follow the cyborg.
Cool.
Da-da-da-da.
What's your problem? What's your problem?
She's running a game for us, Cat.
Yeah, let me run the game, calf. It still doesn't notice you as you go through the door.
Does not react to us.
Yeah, okay, yeah. It
No,
still doesn't react to you.
Jesus Christ! If these rolls have been notice rolls, and it's just one pass roll away from kicking off, I fucking misjudged this whole thing. Jesus Christ!
It doesn't react to you.
Yeah, but if it's this bad at spotting us, I kind of fancy your chances.
You don't know what the roll results have been.
Yeah. Like also, if this is its dump stat, where have the points gone?
Couldn't possibly tell you. Yeah, it still doesn't react to you. It still just continues its slow, stompy way down the hallway, and somewhat predictably, it does in fact go to its fallen comrade.
I like that.
Looks
Yeah,
down at the body.
I don't stay like at its shoulder, then it goes to the body.
The body. Cool, noted. It looks down at the body. So
Scanning while it's doing this, because again, I want to see if it's doing anything I can't see. You know, like is it trying to remote connect? Is it doing anything like that?
as far as you can tell, the only thing that's happening that you can't see, obviously you don't know exactly what the instructions it's receiving are, but it's still just operating on, it is receiving a signal, and you're fairly certain that whatever that signal is controlling what it's been told to go and do.
That doesn't help.
If
thought it
anything, I
might
think
ups-
that made it worse.
Yeah, I thought it might upset him, and so he'd run away.
I think it upset him and it made him go. But yeah, so it looks down at the fallen body, picks it up in a kind of like awkward fireman's lift
I was gonna say
kind of way.
fireman's left or bridal style.
No. This is we're talking like a fireman's lift kind of approach, not like bridal style. That would be a bit too weird.
Well, the bodyguard, I guess, in context.
But yeah, so it picks up its comrade, turns around.
Yeah, I was going to say, Reyes, once this has picked up the comrade, Reyes is going to be backing up more and more and more because she's like, what happens if it starts to come back this way? So by the time it turns around, she is already like an extra 5 to 10 feet back down the corridor.
Yeah. Like, I'll point out, there are, like, the little side
Oh,
rooms.
good.
that
Okay,
you
yeah,
can
moving
duck-
to one of those doors then. That's what I'm doing. And trying to get that open.
That's not what I'm doing, because if it starts
You're
to head-
welcome to do different things.
No, yeah, that it's like Reyes is doing something which is smart for Reyes. Zal's stance is, if it's going back into the room, I need to be in advance of it to let them know it's coming back through. So, like, he's doing very much like a falling back, keeping his eyes on it.
Okay. How much distance you keeping here?
I don't want it to be able to be comfortable in throwing that body at me.
Okay. What are you judging its throwing a body distance as?
I'm judging it by my own. So
Okay, so you're saying
roughly
like
3 ensigns.
3 miles
Yeah.
away from. Okay, you keep over kind of like about 20 feet back to make sure
Yeah.
that you're not going to get like hit by a flailing limb as it just kind of yeets a body at you if it does.
It's another fucking notice roll. It's gonna be like, oh, there you are.
Still no reaction, and it starts walking a little heavier now because it's carrying a body,
Mhm.
but walks a little more heavily back up the corridor door to the room with all the tables and doors.
Does that mean it is approaching the closed door? And Zal is also approaching the closed door.
I
Okay.
think it does if Zal is staying kind of between it and the door.
I would, yeah. I think if we're getting to the closed door, I will try comms and try just to signal to the guys in the room that it's coming back through. I don't know if our comm badges work.
Your comm badges work.
Oh, brilliant. Then yeah,
I
I'll
contacted
comm
the
for
ship earlier.
That's
You,
true,
you
yeah.
contacted the ship. To be fair, you contact the ship. That doesn't necessarily mean your comm badges work internally in here. But no, your comm badges do work in here.
Yeah, I'll ping.
In fact, no, you
Talandra.
did. You commed each other, didn't you? Because that was how Talandra
Yes, we
went.
did.
Quite
So,
yeah.
Reyes, there's a zombie robot. It's trying to grab me.
Yeah,
Except more Vulcan than that.
I'll comment to Talandra and say, I don't know what I'd refer to it as. I know we've jokingly been throwing cyborg around.
Yeah. I don't know what you. The actual.
Entity is
The entity is coming back through. Yeah, good one. And what he does then is he falls back behind the door so that it can go through. Then he'll follow.
Oh, so
after.
you're going back through the door first?
I can't open this door. That's
you can't.
what Reyes noted. So I'm going to basically move a little further down the corridor from the door.
Oh, okay, so
Let
you're
it
going to kind
in.
of duck into one of the side because this room, the side rooms, they're not locked off. These
Yeah, I
little through
assume that
crosses
the
and things.
door it's coming through is the end of the corridor.
Oh
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then yeah, I'll duck into a side room to let it by.
Join me.
Oh, join Reyes. In the
If
crying
both of you are in
corner.
there, then it's
Reyes.
quite cramped in there while you wait because
That's
these stairs aren't
fine.
big. Just thought I'd point that out for some flavour. Okay, it goes back through into the main room, having paid pretty much zero regard to you guys. What now?
Well, I don't hear screaming.
No.
Go along after?
Yeah, let's.
Head on after.
Widdly wee, open the door,
Mm-hmm.
and back through you go. Talandra and Casey. I'm assuming you guys have been just kind of giving an eye on what's going on in this room whilst this has been going on.
continuing to scan the computer
Continuing to
system, I
scan
think.
computer systems and check out what's happening in here. Cool beans.
Talandra's goal is to get as much information as we can from the ship.
Yeah. You continue to find that this room that you're in isn't where the information is, but it's following up from what Reyes and Casey have found before. There's one room that has a lot of data and another room that has a lot of data. So you're just kind of reaffirming that. The other, no, you don't get anything on the other two rooms really. But the door down to the living quarters opens, and through comes the cyborg with the other one that you shot over its shoulder.
Lieutenant Casey, do you think there's much more progress to be made scanning the technology here?
I don't think so, Commander.
Then, when we are joined by the others, we will tail this entity.
Yes, Commander.
It continues to pay no attention to anybody else other than what it's doing, and goes walking off to essentially the one door that you don't have any information about, because it's not one of the two that are where all the data is. It's not the door it initially came in here through. It's not the living quarters door. It's the one remaining door.
Once we are gathered, Talandra's interest is in cautiously following that entity.
Zal and Reyes follow fairly shortly afterwards. How shortly that is probably dictated by how far back Reyes wants to stay.
Like, once it's headed off through the door and there's no immediate sign of fallout, basically so long as Reyes is confident that by going over and opening the door, we're not just going to suddenly appear up its ass, she's good for going after fairly promptly.
Okay. So, yeah, you come through there fairly promptly then. So you probably actually see it go through the one remaining door that you don't know out about.
Didn't do much but pick it up.
Then I am interested in following it and seeing what it does with it. Perhaps it might also lead us to whatever is the central intelligence for these entities. And I think they fall back into their...
Zal's the head to that.
I think Talandra's going to stop with Zal just because we might end up running into an officer, an authority, or whatever, and she wants
that's
to
fair.
lead with the diplomatic head.
Okay, so yeah, Zal's the butt this time then. Up to this new door you go. Reyes, as always, you can get this open, nay bother at all. And through you go. This room there's a lot of clutter in here. There's in front of you, kind of most of the way across the room, is what looks like a bed. There are tables scattered around the room, shelves, cupboards. It doesn't look quite like disarray. It looks like the kind of organized chaos you get when things are very busy. There are machine parts scattered around on tables. There are no, there aren't files because it doesn't need files. Some suspiciously biological-looking materials in some vials kept somewhere. You look like you want to ask something, Kath.
I guess I'm on a scale of 1 to Frankenstein's lab is really...
I'd say 1 to Frankenstein.
Yeah.
On a scale of 1 to Frankenstein, This is about a 7 or 8.
Oh, that's bad. Okay.
It's quite
that's bad.
It's quite space age Frankenstein in here. It is quite space age Frankenstein.
Thanks,
Like,
I hate it.
Like there's not quite, a half finished corpse lying out. Well, no, there is now because one's just been brought in. But there's not a, like head in a jar. There's
not like a disembodied arm just twitching with, in the
exactly,
corner,
with like wires plugged into it. There's nobody cackling in the corner going, "It's alive!" But it's still a 7 or 8 on about 75% Frankenstein in here, and the cyborg that's been shot is carried over to the bed in the middle of the room and laid down upon it. Still doesn't react to you, and turn the one that's upright and going about its business turns smartly around to walk out of the room that you're in.
Towards us.
Towards you, yes,
yeah.
because you're in the you're
The
near
only,
the
I was just
doorway now.
double check it was the only doorway. Yeah.
Yeah. There is only one doorway in and out of this room.
Do we have space to let it go past?
Absolutely.
I think Talandra is going to once again glance at her technical crew. Given that, looking at the... She asks this question to 2 humans, but she asks it as a Vulcan who is not fussed about the Frankenstein nature of this room and will be ignoring any expressions to the contrary. Is there more to be gained by studying this room, do you believe?
Yes.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Yes, Commander. Yes.
Then carry on. Look, if they'd looked at her and gone, nah, let's follow the thing instead, she's...
You had your chance to not be in the Frankenstein room, but you've not taken it.
I don't know. No.
Choice you've made.
Well, Chief Science Officer, I think you'd be better off looking at any biological matter.
I would concur. He looks over at the body.
I mean, to be fair, we have already poked the body, but...
But now there's the interesting thing of like, its designated spot is going to tell us a lot.
Yep.
And then, I'm going to have to start looking at the fucking brains in jars situation in this room. That's
That
my whole
is
steez.
Considerably less disgusting.
As you're about to start looking at brains in jars, and as Reyes is about to go look at the much less disgusting machinery that's scattered about on tables, there...
I love that she's just like, hooray, I'm an engineer.
I'm not looking at the squishy bits.
Hooray.
There is some movement from the ceiling above where the body...
Fuck off.
I think I speak as commanding officer on this mission. I think I speak for everyone when I go, no.
And from a panel on the ceiling slides back.
Not bad.
Reyes yells "fuck" really loudly.
And out of the ceiling descends a piece of machinery on a kind of an armature sort of thing. It's so I've just seen chat and look at Demon Baby. It's not a demon baby. It is a robot arm with various attachments
Oh,
on the end.
No.
Really? It looks like it could do several things.
I think Reyes says fuck again. One's the surprise as the hatch opens, and then this fucking appendage, like, blending hand comes down from
Put a blending hand.
I
Blending
say
hand / sonic screwdriver.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, everyone gets their
CCTV.
one-liner. Zal, what has Zal and Casey got to say?
What's everybody else reacting to this thing coming out the ceiling?
Zal has coined "huh" as his thing, so he does a very nondescript "huh." I think Casey says "hello" with the same energy as that one TikTok where the girl's passed out and water gets thrown in her face, and she goes like "hello."
Okay.
I like the idea that it's fuck, huh, hello, fuck.
Okay, so we've got
Tilandra.
Yeah, from Tilandra.
No.
Eyebrow quirk.
Yeah, no, because Tilandra's response to the second fuck from Reyes is the eyebrow quirk and the indeed, Lieutenant.
I'm gonna exercise a bit of GM privilege here and say that those reactions happen in a slightly different order to
Oh, then retract mine.
Oh no, yours still stays.
Oh.
Because the order we've got here is fuck. Huh. Does some more stuff. Fuck! Indeed, Lieutenant. Hello? And when Casey says hello, a disembodied voice says hello. And was it's only about 9:30, we're going to take a break there. Because
Because
I've mostly run out of water.
I'm going for a walk.
Tiny theater of the mind. After all this happens in this den, smash cut. There's a barbecue somewhere in the Pacific Northwest. Vance flips a burger, has a swig of a beer. Brilliant.
Good for him. Good for him.
All right. Yeah. Back in 15 minutes?
15?
Cool.
Back by 1:45, but we'll aim for about 10-15 minutes.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye. What up? Welcome back to the second part of session 2 of episode 13 of Star Trek Iskandar, The Lonely Sea and Sky. Hope you all had a good break. I went and got a block of ice out the freezer and I'm currently sitting on it. I hate this weather.
Tis ghastly.
Speaking of things people hate, let's go straight back in with where we left off in the 75% Frankenstein-y lab. And this thing that's descended from the ceiling.
It was 75% before the thing.
Has this made it more Frankenstein? Really?
Yeah.
I don't feel it adds to the Frankenstein energy. Like, I'm not denying it makes it creepier, but I don't think it adds to the Frankenstein energy. It's a different.
GLaDOS energy is a different energy to
Thank you,
Frankenstein
Michael.
energy.
I feel when it's already, the premise is already still a sci-fi Frankenstein.
Yeah, given that things that are acceptable in the Frankenstein vibe are things like an open-topped observatory and lightning storms, even though that bears no resemblance to the text. Like, I think that GLaDOS arms could very firmly fit into these sci-fi Frankenstein vibes. And in this essay, I shall further go on.
Okay, we're split on whether the sudden robot arm adds to the Frankenstein energy. Opinions in chat, I guess.
Chime off in the comments.
Chime off in the comments. Start a poll. But yes, you've heard a disembodied voice say, hello. Who are you?
We are... I am Lieutenant Commander Tilandra. We are the away team of the USS Iskandar. Who are we talking to?
I am the Doctor. You are not part of the crew.
Forgive me, I've completely forgotten why we're here.
Okay.
Was the ship found drifting or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so it wasn't found drifting. It was found, like, you found the ship in the middle of fucking nowhere in space. It's traveling along at sublight speed. It looks like it was designed to travel at, like, close to light speed, but not quite. And that's kind of what you found it as. You found that there weren't any life signs aboard, and went, "What's this? To investigate. Have we found? Is this a sign that there's another civilization that's started space, like interstellar spacefaring? Let's check it out."
Talandra will then indicate. No, we have been sent to investigate after the ship was found in this region of space.
Who sent you to investigate? You have not come from home.
No, we are Starfleet officers working on behalf of the United Federation of Planets. Tell us more about your home.
Well, it's quite far from here. But how do you not know? If you're people, you must have come from there. But you don't look like you've come from there.
Indeed not. As I said, we are representative of the United Federation of Planets. And we occupy, Talandra will reel off a couple of sectors and relevant information. She is very aware that this is kind of a first contact. We understand you must have travelled a very long way, and we would be interested in sharing information.
Curious. We did not think that there was. No, there isn't other intelligent life in the galaxy.
On the
Is there?
contrary. On the contrary. Dependent on which galaxy you are referring to, there is a great deal of sentient life in this galaxy.
Fascinating.
But what is the purpose of this vessel, Doctor?
This vessel is a colony ship. We were intending to start life on another planet, far from our home system.
And yet your ship does not appear to have any living colonists, Doctor.
The crew still function.
Ah. Yes, I believe we have met certain members of your crew.
Yes. I say the crew still function. There is one here who's become quite badly damaged. I'm not entirely sure how.
When we arrived aboard the ship, we attempted to make contact through your officer, but unfortunately an altercation took place.
An altercation?
It was difficult to communicate. It appears that despite our requests to assurances that we came in peace, we found it difficult to be understood. Did the crew not speak?
Ah. Yes, that makes sense. you would not have been recognized as... No, there is no other intelligent life in the galaxy, and yet you are not part of the crew and have not come from Caluche. Therefore, you could not have been on this ship,
We apologize.
or
then.
should not have been on this ship,
We apologize.
as far as
therefore,
security is concerned.
for the misunderstanding. Talandra wishes that the captain were here more than anything in the whole world. Doctor, it seems that
Yes?
it seems that given the magnitude of what has been shared today, you have a great deal, perhaps, to learn about life beyond your own homeworld. Are you
So
able
it would seem.
Are you able
My
to
programming will need updating.
Are you able to communicate beyond this vessel? It may well be that Are you able to communicate beyond this vessel?
I do not know. I do not believe that has intentionally been part of my programming.
Talandra.
But there would have been no other vessels to communicate with.
Of course not. Talandra glances at Reyes and Casey.
Yeah. What does Chief Science do?
Her eyebrows indicate this is a first contact situation and I haven't revised.
Reyes wanted to check to see if there's any kind of data feed coming from, if there's any indication of where is the doctor, where are them servers, but also was this sick bay once? Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was.
Oh, don't worry, Talandra's screaming internally. It's fine.
I think, given that you want more information than just does this look like this used to be sick bay until it went all Frankenstein, which you can probably get from just looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
For finding out anything else, make us a check.
Ops or engineering?
What kind of stuff are you trying to find out?
Again, it's kind of just something's activated. Has anything changed that I can detect about the ship
in terms
systems?
of like systems and signals and stuff like that. I'm gonna say that's an ops check then.
Cool. That is a 7.
Wow.
Good at ops.
Damn good at ops. So yeah, you're kind of scanning stuff whilst this exchange is happening. Yeah, the signal that you were picking up originally, coming to Cyborg that came in and carried it in the body and brought it in here, that you're still picking that up. It's no longer it's not going to the dead body. It's very much what's kind of operating your ceiling friend.
Yep.
The voice appears... It's partly coming from just some speakers in the walls, and also from the ceiling friend.
Yeah.
The robot arm.
I think...
In terms of where, given that the signal is coming to that, you could probably, if you went back out, trace it to
that away.
You've now got enough of a handle on it, I think, with getting a 7 to go, okay, this is where the server banks are.
Cool. I think Reyes will still go. You're like so you're the doctor. You run
Correct.
medical well-being for the crew.
Correct.
Are there other systems like you aboard?
Yes. There are also automated systems to operate the engines. There is also the security system.
The security system.
Correct.
Is there a system which has primary authority above all? Is there like a command system?
That would be the captain.
Okay, there's the captain too. The captain is crew or a system?
Oh, the captain is one of the crew. They have the primary authority on this ship. Second authority is held by the first officer.
Where are they?
Storage.
Cryogenic storage?
Correct.
Is it possible for them to be woken from here? Or at least from on board?
Yes, if there was a situation that required the captain or the first officer's input.
Would contact with a potentially alien race count?
I suppose that would. It certainly doesn't come under my remit. It might come under security's remit.
Given that we
But
wish you no hostile intent, we would be very interested in communicating with your captain and first officer.
I will communicate with... As this is not a medical emergency, I will have to alert security and to get the security system to arrange for the captain and the first officer to come here.
Of course.
But I can do that.
Is there anything we can do to indicate to security that we are not a threat to this vessel?
I will alert security that it is non-urgent but still requires the captain's attention.
Thank you. With your permission, we will remain here until the captain and first officer arrive.
Of course.
Talandra, again, not fazed by all the gross corp stuff, but is like, this is someone we're talking to. We're not going to leave in case security are like, you left sickbay, we'll kill you now.
They're going to get woken out of cryogenic sleep and they're going to get brought here.
Yeah. Doctor?
Yes.
Perhaps it would be more fitting if your captain, if we were to meet your captain in their ready room or office?
Perhaps the bridge?
Perhaps the bridge. We will go to the bridge and wait for them there.
Of course. I will direct security to send the captain and the first officer to the bridge.
Thank you, Doctor.
Non-urgently.
Do you have a time scale for what non-urgently means?
Oh, non-urgently for security alerting the captain and the first officer shouldn't take too long. It mostly should indicate that it is not an immediate threat.
Are we speaking in the scale of hours or days?
I would estimate no more than an hour.
Excellent. Then we will await a further communication from you. This is a question about tech level that Talandra just wants to check.
Sure.
We are of completely different paradigms, but she wants to make it clear that the Doctor can communicate with her however, if ever she likes. There must be a way for her to communicate with our communicators, or is there even can we put a little communication relay with her or something that means she can just ping us?
That sounds like a question for your chief engineer.
Yeah, but my question is more, if I ask Reyes to do that, am I asking her to do something give her my mobile number, or am I saying build a new system into the ship?
Yeah, judging from the tech level, it might require a bit of work to do, you think, but it's not like you're trying to make 2 tin cans with a bit of string communicate with a mobile. It is of comparable tech level. They just have developed their tech on a slightly different way.
Lieutenant, as we have a line of communication open here, perhaps there is something we can do to maintain it in case there are misunderstandings?
Yeah, Doctor. Our
Yes?
communicators have can communicate on blah frequency. Are you able to transmit to that?
Testing. And that echoes from all four of you.
That works.
Wonderful. Then we will be aboard the bridge. You may communicate with us if there's any reason to, any delays, any communication requirements.
Very well. That continues to echo from all four of you.
Thank you. And we leave because that'll have to do.
Mm-hmm.
Talandra will engage something of a Vulcan stride, and as soon as we are out of earshot and then some from sickbay, she's going to
The door shuts, you start hearing like whirring behind you.
She's repairing the member of the crew, that's fine. There is a pause, a breath. Away team to Iskandar.
I pick it up on the. I assume Iskandar picks it up. There's no problems.
Yep, no problems with that.
Yep.
Sorry, briefly miles away.
All right. Iskandar here, Commander.
Captain, a situation has unfolded that I believe elevates the severity of our mission somewhat.
Indeed.
We have communicated with the ship's doctor, who appears to be some form of artificially intelligent system. The captain and first officer have been maintained in some sort of cryogenic sleep, while other members of the crew have been utilized for their baser functions. Therefore, I believe this has elevated this from a salvage and investigation opportunity to potential first contact. The ship system was confused by the presence of people not from this planet, these people's home. Talandra gives the name that I've forgotten.
Feluce.
We have requested to speak with the captain and first officer, but as for what that will mean, we are not fully certain.
Cat's briefly racking her brains on first contact. Yeah, my fucking plan. Protocols.
I won't, Captain, but it is very tempting.
I don't think he understands. Very well. So you're going to wait to receive the captain, an awakened captain and first officer on their bridge.
We have requested it, Captain, but given our limited understanding of these people and their technological abilities and the members of the crew we have met so far, it may be that we are about to meet the captain and first officer. It may be something a little less put together.
All right, Commander. Proceed with the plan, with the stated plan. However, greet the captain and first officer. By all means, offer them immediately reasonable, if they would like to speak with me directly, either via comms or that I can transport over there. Essentially, if you can try to bring the situation to a stable point where it is reasonable for me to speak with them directly, I am prepared to engage in first contact protocols and communication with them.
Of course, Captain.
that all for EXO?
For now, Captain, yes.
Good luck. Keep us posted.
Thank you, Captain.
Iskandar out. Not stick the captain in a volatile
No.
ship, potentially at the
Boo, coward.
What's in charge? The security system. Oh no!
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I love
I didn't
that.
say the security system was in charge.
No, but it did sound like it was going that way for a bit.
I love that Kath and I are on a similar page, because if the conversation had gone, I'll come over there, Talandra would have been like, no, that's not what I was saying.
Premature.
I was saying, please
Did I mention the robot that tried to grab me?
please give to me instructions that I may perform your will, am first officer. I could invite them back to the ship, but I will not. I will not bring Captain to this circumstance. The right people are here, thank.
Cool.
Maybe I'd trade someone for Arcady, maybe, but I think Arcady can't do much more than to come in and go, yeah, this is horrid. Anyway.
I don't like this.
No, thank you.
No, yet to all of this. Okay, so theoretically, I didn't actually give you directions to the bridge.
Oh, I
But
thought
you've
we'd
got-
already been there, but yeah,
No, we haven't.
Yeah. I
No,
remember
you've
now.
not. You've not been to the bridge yet. You've been in the living quarters, the cargo bay, engineering, the canteen kind of room that you're in now, and sick bay. You've not actually been to the bridge, but you've got your two options for the bridge.
Well, Reyes has a bit more of an idea, or at least
Yeah, that's true. Actually, you've got an idea of where. No, you've got an idea of where the signal that was operating medical, the doctor, was coming from.
Let's have a poke in that direction first.
Okay, that signal is coming from the room that, when the second cyborg came out to then go and pick up its mate, take friend to sickbay, that's coming from that room.
Mm-hmm.
You also have the two rooms that you're going, lots of data go in those two directions. So those are your three options for doors you've not gone through yet.
Try the first one.
Room that cyborg came from.
Yeah.
Okie dokie.
Oh, that's probably security, actually. Wait, hang on. Reyes is going to pause. Doctor,
Yes.
which way to the bridge?
Oh, my apologies. The bridges, and they'll how are they going to tell you? They tell you which that is.
Yeah,
which
there's
door
lights.
is.
I don't know how integrated
well,
it is.
there's some dim lighting. Actually, there we go. The relevant door panel lights up.
Yeah.
There we go.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes.
I have sent you a cat to help you find the way. The cat appears to just be sort of lying there. The cat is helping.
You are welcome for the cat.
The cat is quite pleasant.
Unfortunately, I am not able to recall the cat. Recalling the cat is a task for security.
You're going to chase. You're going to be chased. Chasey.
I can imagine Reyes is one of those people that's difficult with others, but would have a cat she really loves.
It's like an ugly fucking cat.
The cat gets me. Oh, your cat
Old Grebo-esque cat.
yes.
So when you say ugly cat, I'm remembering my first cat. That was the really wonky one with the legs different lengths and his head didn't match her body and all sorts of nonsense.
Yeah, Reyes.
She was very sweet, but she was really, really dim.
Reyes would have an ugly, wonky cat, and this is canon now. Somewhere in the universe, there is a cat that is Reyes' cat, and someone is looking after this cat.
But yeah, so now you know which door's the bridge, or which door's medical's told you is the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have it does at least match with one of the two. You were like, well, one of these is bridge, the other's still got a lot of data going to it. It matches one of those at least.
Okay. Try that way.
Okay. Open the door. Go through. Are we going the Talandra at the head and Zal at the back order? I know you're not going first.
Yeah, we'll carry on that way.
Carry on that way? Yep, that's fine. Through you go. Usual procedure at this point. Door slams shut behind you. And sure enough, this looks an awful lot like it could be a bridge.
Oh, phew.
I don't know why you're so worried.
Not been sent to some sort of horrible mincer.
There's a faint whirring from the floor and spikes appear from the consoles. No. There are consoles. There is what looks like quite a captainy looking chair in the middle. Windows out front looking out into the empty void of space. And yeah, there are a bank of consoles in the middle, some consoles around the edge. And the door you just came in, and another door kind of off. You've kind of come in as you're facing the front door on the left, and then there's another door off to your right. This sure looks like a bridge.
Yes, we wait.
Indeed.
You gonna poke anything?
No.
No.
We're waiting on a contact procedure. We've made contact. We don't, unless Reyes is directed, we are past the poking our noses into other people's ship systems, especially when there is a security system out there. Reyes does not want to meet the security system while we are in such a delicate place, going, ooh, what's that? Sounds like a great way for security systems to go, I know that you said you could talk to the captain, but now we have to kill you because you're an intruder.
Landra, Casey, Zal, any differing opinions here, or are we sitting it out for the next time over long?
Talandra is infinitely patient for things like this. She is content to wait. I imagine.
Casey? Zal?
Casey is a
Can
wanderer.
I tempt one of you with a nice console?
It's worth noting, if Casey, like, gently pokes about, like, looks at things, you know, has a bit of a scan, like, that sort of thing's fine. If he's, like, starts popping panels off, Talandra's gonna go, and Lieutenant, maybe we don't do that. But, like...
Yeah. I'm at gentle poking level. Zal's not touching a goddamn thing.
Yeah, fair. Oh, it's a shame you haven't got any trouble aspects that I could invoke to make you do it. Or tempt you to do it, but never mind.
Aha. Too damn smart.
Fine. I could just tempt you by just leaving consoles out in front of you going, look, shiny consoles.
Mm-hmm.
We're not Adam Strange.
Yeah, but there's no nanobots here.
That we know of.
You haven't found any nanobots here, therefore there's nothing for Strange to go looking for. Casey. What's a good thing to make you roll for a gentle poking about? Probably investigate, actually. Make us an investigate check, since you're having a gentle poodle about looking at stuff.
3 plus whatever I got as a modifier, which I don't have in front of me right now, because I closed the character sheets like an idiot.
Your investigate is 3.
6.
6. Okay, you're gonna find some stuff then, whether you wanted to or not. Do you have any particular things you want to poke at, or are you just semi-aimlessly bimbling about going, wonder what this does, and then poke something?
It'll be interesting seeing kind of I assume there's a point where the crew just stopped using these consoles. And so maybe seeing what was live on the consoles at the point of, forgive the pun, termination would be an interesting point of inquiry.
Unfortunately, as with a lot of the systems on this ship, there's a lot of automation happening here. So like if you start actually looking at any of the consoles, there's still live data coming in on some of these. So you're still getting like engine updates, which are, if you were to scroll through them, are basically the same as they've had every hour on the hour for the last however long you're willing to scroll for. Checks on trajectory, again, it's the same kind of, the consoles are still receiving the automated updates that they've been receiving for essentially forever. But you can find, as you kind of pace around the bridge a little, poke at some things, go, automated system, you can find on the captain's console that you could access, should you wish, a couple of logs.
Oh, 100% on my call.
It's not your call, but I was leaving it there. You can open them if you want.
Commander.
Lieutenant.
There are crew logs seemingly accessible from this terminal.
Talandra isn't taking a epically long pause. I'm just thinking.
No. I know.
This is now advanced beyond salvage to first contact. Therefore, Talandra says. Talandra will go and have a look as to whether they are the digital equivalent of having been just like left on the side, or whether they are in the digital equivalent of in a cabinet with the key in the cabinet.
Okay. It's more the equivalent of put it in the top drawer of the desk, but not exactly securely. So like it's been tidied. It's the digital equivalent of it's been tidied away, but it's not been locked. It's just not been left like strewn on the side.
Noted. Thank you, Lieutenant.
Don't do jack shit. Don't touch it.
Okay. We'll leave those logs there.
We are good kids. We are good kids.
Boo.
Sorry,
Boo, I say.
We're too busy being good to hear you.
Fine.
We're now intruders in someone's house. Like,
okay.
We're already sitting there going, oh, we feel bad about the guy, but like he did attack us, but like, oh, I feel bad, man.
Very awkward. Came into this house. Casey killed this guy.
Casey killed a man. Like,
Hey, look,
Kill
at
the
least given how the ship does things, you didn't kill a man, and also you didn't permanently kill a man. Like,
You don't know.
Not better. Frankly.
No, yeah,
Still
arguably
awful.
not better.
oh no,
You killed a guy. It's okay. He got better.
wasn't meant to be that much better. It's just meant to be aware.
Yeah.
But okay, fine. You don't poke around any further. You have noted that there are the automated systems, some logs, and you wait. And then, about 20 minutes later, so not that long, you hear two sets of foot. Sorry about that, chat. Where did we cut off? Because we don't actually know, because we weren't paying attention. Like, the high quality professional streamers we are.
It's Michael's fault.
focused role players
Michael's
that we are.
It's clearly Michael's fault.
Don't know what
Focused
happened.
role players in the zone.
Yeah.
Going.
Too focused on our
Massive.
craft.
Just as they entered the bridge.
Oh,
Oh,
snap!
that was a while ago.
Oh, that was a while ago. I'm content to do it just as a quick recap then of here's what you missed while we were out. So what you've missed, the two figures have entered the bridge. Did you get the description of them? Even if you didn't, they're cyborgs.
And not
Talandra-
chatty cyborgs.
They're not very
they're just
chatty cyborgs
useless
either.
cyborgs like the rest.
Hey,
They're not.
don't you be mean to my cyborgs like that.
They're not fun cyborgs. They're
I'll allow that. They're not. They aren't fun.
That's
they're
true.
not. They're not. Kantos and because he wouldn't get on with them. But yeah, so Talandra has attempted the first contact speech of we have come from the United Federation of Planets. Just blank, nothing at them. They have had a look up and down at mostly Talandra, since she was the one drawing their attention. Taken a couple of steps in unison towards Talandra, and presumably towards the rest of the crew, who are presumably also in that general direction. And crew have kind of gone, hey, Dr. AI that we've had contact with, could you call them off? And the doctor's gone, I don't have any
Why?
medical reason to call them off. That would be a security problem.
Trying to
So, yes,
ascertain if they're. I think Reyes' current gambit is: are they capable of actually enacting their duties? With the hope that the answer is either, "Oh no, they're not," or "I should check that out."
When you say their duties, are you meaning like, can they do
Well, it was like
specific?
she was asking, are they capable? Are they capable of? I think the what we just got up to was Reyes going, "Are they capable of performing their duties?" And the doctor being like, "I'm not sure why," and trying to be like, "They're not fucking saying anything," and the doctor being like, "They have been quiet for some time."
Yeah, that was about the line that we cut off
Yeah.
on,
Yeah.
or the way where we realised we'd been cut
Yes.
off.
yes. Given that.
So we'll pick up from there.
Given that the captain and first officer are required to make verbal decisions, our inability to converse with them is proving to be a barrier.
I see. That is unfortunate.
Are they able to give you orders? Are they in a condition to give orders and command the ship?
Giving verbal orders would be rather difficult for them, I will admit.
You got a protocol for how to handle it if the captain and first officer can't issue orders? Like, Reyes is kind of giving this frantic-y occasional glance at Talandra.
Under those circumstances, if the captain and the first officer are unable to wield their authority on this vessel, then we would continue down the chain of command. Would you like me to get security to send the second officer?
What is the protocol, Doctor, should none of the crew be verbally communicative, as none of the crew we have met so far have been able to maintain a conversation with us?
Interesting. I do not believe that was a protocol that was considered.
Understood.
Certainly it is not if it is a protocol that was considered, it is not a protocol I have access to. I do not believe it was ever anticipated that verbal instructions would be required if none of the crew were able to give them.
Understandable. Perhaps we shall see then if there have been any instructions left on the bridge and get back to you.
There may well have been instructions left on the bridge, I suppose.
May we?
The cyborgs take another couple of steps towards you.
Yeah, Zal's at that point
Yeah.
going to take a step towards the cyborgs.
They turn to you.
Doctor, are you in any way capable of recalling the captain and first officer?
I do not believe there is a medical reason for me to interface with the captain and the first officer. That
Maybe
would be a
you could-
security matter.
Maybe you could check out why they're not talking. There's a medical impediment stopping them from performing their duties.
Quite.
You do make a compelling point. One moment. And the cyborgs just sort of freeze.
That's just concerning.
And then the two cyborgs drop back, turn round, and leave the bridge.
I imagine they got quite close to Talandra, who
Oh yeah, like one
throughout has-
at the point where they just sort of froze like mid motion. One of them was like this close to Talandra, the other same kind of distance away from Zal's face.
Talandra waits until they are out of the room. Or, until they are basically, the door is opened, thanks the doctor.
Doors opened, they've gone. Doors shut.
Thanks the doctor, turns off her communication.
You're welcome.
Excellent thinking, Lieutenant.
It's a logic system, I guess.
Lieutenant Casey, access those files.
Yes.
And whilst he is doing that, Talandra to Athan.
On here.
Unfortunately, it seems that whatever access to cryogenic freezing this civilization had, it was not very advanced. She says, like it's not
Like they didn't
advanced at all.
defrost properly.
Yeah, like she's from the future.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I believe, given what I have seen, the crew of this ship are all dead and are being reanimated by the ship's doctor in a macabre representation of life.
Well. In which case, then if this is a ship with no crew, no living crew, then this is a potentially dangerous, volatile piece of technology which is running unsupervised through Federation space. And thus, step one is going to be to conduct a threat assessment of this ship and see about neutralizing it. That could, I'm using potentially extreme language there, Exo, but really what I mean is if you can deactivate any onboard computers from taking of the automated computer systems, and we can bring the ship to a halt. I think that may be ideal. And then, once the ship's systems have been taken offline, at least the automated control systems have been taken offline, we can try to learn more about these people, where they came from, whether or not we need to bring this ship back.
For Kath's sanity, Talandra will glance to Reyes for confirmation, but will say, I believe, given a cursory look, the ship poses very little threat to those not currently aboard it. But we will continue to investigate however we can, Captain. It may well be, should the security protocols deem us to be an active threat, we might require an extraction and to formulate a slightly different plan. But currently, we have a working understanding with one of the ship systems.
Very good. Your safety is, frankly, now the biggest priority. as I agree the ship is not in any immediate danger to anyone around it. It just simply cannot be allowed to proceed unsupervised. So prioritize your safety. We will extract you. If there's nobody aboard, we can see about all manner of methods of stopping this ship in its tracks and either returning it where it came from or giving this to the anthropology department on a platter, I suppose.
Indeed. In the meantime, we have a few documents from these people from the bridge that we will investigate to see if there's anything more we can glean.
Yes, if nothing else, these people, if they have gone into deep space with very little prospect of coming back, or at least on a very dangerous excursion based on the technology that they're using, and they've gone out there to die, the very least we can do for these pioneers of these people is know who they were and what happened to them.
Yes, Captain.
Keep me posted. We're maintaining a transporter lock on you. Carry on.
Okay. And by that point, Talandra will turn to Casey, who I imagine will have got the files.
Yeah.
Yes.
Opened up the diary that you found in the drawer. A couple of the logs are fairly standard looking stuff. Looking at, do I want to make you make a check for this? Yeah, there's a quick science check, but it's like super low difficulty. Just don't get below 1, which I imagine is near impossible for you.
I got a 5.
Yeah, you're good. You can have a look at the dates that are on the automated console updates of engine still working, engine still operating normally, those ones, because they have a little timestamp on them, and the timestamps on the logs that you found on the captain's console, and you can estimate how long ago these updates were made by the captain. These updates would have been made pretty much when this ship set off. This is about 200 years since these logs were updated by the captain. There are 2 quite simple functional written ones of leaving orbit, leaving known system space, good luck to all. And there is a slightly older log that appears to be a recorded message.
Play that.
Can you play it?
Yeah.
Oh. What flashes up on the screen is a video of this bridge, but in a much better lit and shinier condition. There are crew members sitting at their stations, some of them busy, most of them not. The ship doesn't appear to actually be underway. The captain is sitting with the windows behind them so that you can see out into space. You see, well, space, and also see that they're in orbit around a planet, a very blue planet. Appears to, certainly the bits of the planet that you can see, very oceany. A couple of small land masses. And the captain takes a breath and begins to speak. Siblings, cousins. Today is a momentous occasion for us. No less so than the day we first took to the skies and discovered the secrets of flight, or the day our first rockets ventured beyond the atmosphere, or even that distant day when our ancestors built the first rafts and set sail to explore and settle the islands of Kaluche. We have always been explorers, setting our courses by the stars in the night sky. Today we set our first course not by those stars, but to them. No more shall they be distant, lonely points of light, but other islands that we can also call home. And perhaps one day we will see more life in the night sky than there is below the surface of the waves. There is no limit to what we may encounter out there across the vast ocean of space. The wonders of its countless uninhabited worlds are completely unknown to anyone. Its exploration deserves the best of all our people. But why, some say, do we go to the stars? Why choose this as our goal? Why not finish the work of settling the planets of our own system first? They may well ask, why explore the deepest trenches? Why fly to our moons? Why did we build our first boats? On behalf of all of the crew of the Starlight Guide, I want to extend my deepest gratitude to each and every one of you. You have all made this venture possible. You have all made it possible for us to reach out into the lonely sky and bring it to life. For each of us on board, it is an honor and a privilege to be able to venture forth on this pioneering flight and to make First Star another home. We set sail on this new sea, as we have done on so many before, because there is new knowledge to be gained and new worlds to discover, to be used for the progress of all. And therefore, as we set sail, we hope for fair winds and steady waves on the most hazardous and dangerous and greatest adventure on which any of us have ever embarked. Thank you all.
And that's the only entry.
The only entry that's a recorded audio and video. Everything else is fairly functional. And it's just leaving orbit and the leaving system, which has the little note on it of good luck to all.
Anyone recognise that species?
I think this might actually be law checks.
Hmm.
Yeah, knowledge. Make us some law checks, folks.
Actually, not bad.
4, also 4.
What do the boys get?
Casey's on 3.
Mm-hmm.
Zal is fucking hell. Zal is on 5. Zal's on 3 as well.
Okay. I'll give you all fairly similar results since it's 3s and 4s. Short answer is no. None of you actually recognise this species. There are similarities with other species that you know of, not necessarily in this area of space, but there are, given the green skin, you might suspect some similarities with the Orions that have green skin, isn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
better technology. Yeah, Orions. But also given there's things about their build and general kind of structure of them, there might be some similarities with potentially Andorians. Imagine if Andorians hadn't grown up as a species on an ice planet, then instead it was a bit warmer, you might end up with people who look a bit like this. In terms of the technology, it's that you can see, there's technology that looks quite similar to ones that you've seen on other, essentially in museums on quite a lot of other worlds. It's all very, this is a lot of tech that various places would have had right before warp. So this is very clearly a civilization that is on the cusp of warp technology, if they were going down that path.
Yep. That's where...
If they were developing their technology along the same kind of lines as most other interstellar species that you've met. So no, not one you've met. Some apparent similarities with a couple others. So maybe similar evolution.
Okay.
What was 200 odd years ago? So they've been traveling at near light speed for 200 years. That's a distance, but it's not a staggering distance of 150, 175 light years, you know, depending on how near light. Just curious if it's been, you know, their technology, we're saying this is technology which is pretty much comparable to 300 years in Earth's past. A little more, because 300 years was warp drive, but 300, 350, ignoring a World War III impact upon technological evolution.
Should they have then developed warp drive?
Well, obviously progress is not linear.
No.
But it is but it's odd. Yeah, it's a little odd that they've got to be within. Now, Homeworld's got to be within a few sectors of here.
Have they, Lieutenant Casey? Have they left any indication of where their home sector may be?
Do I have that? Yeah, I imagine it's odd in that they wouldn't be using necessarily Starfleet's sector.
No.
But they might have done the thing that we did on Explorer, the one where it's just
Voyager,
like,
yeah.
we're here, come find us.
Yeah. They don't have an equivalent of Voyager's Golden Record, but you can go and poke at some other consoles that aren't the captain's ones.
Yeah.
Yep.
And find that one that was giving you the automatic updates on course.
Time to rip apart their flight computer, frankly, if they've not told us.
Go have a look at their flight computer. You're quite capable of doing that. Yeah, give us some let's see, hacking, working machinery, understanding systems. Fuck it. Engineering checks from the pair of you if you're ripping apart the flight computer.
Well, if Casey is heading for that...
Oh, okay, yeah, you can go do something else.
Reyes is going to basically want to look at ship internal systems because she wants to try to get a bead on the automated security, because that's a potential problem she wants to get ahead of.
Yeah, legit.
Yeah,
it's legit. I can see exactly why you might want to do that.
What's it doing, and can I kill it? Or at least switch it off?
So mean!
I just want to cut
You're
this
so
right now.
mean
This
to
is
this
now
poor security system that you've not even said hello to.
This is now hardware, and it's not even someone's hardware. It's now no longer rude. I can deal with it as a problem later while we plunder this ship for information. Or at the very least, let's get a bead. Let's figure out what security's vibe.
Okay. We'll start with Sammy Boy then.
I got a 3.
Cool. It's not a particularly difficult computer for you to get into anyway, so a 3 is more than enough for you to go, okay, we're receiving these regular updates. Let's scroll back a while in the logs. Presumably you're just trying to get... Are you just trying to get the home planet, or trying... no, I'll give you a couple of bits of information. Fuck it. Why not?
Yeah.
Let's be generous. You can go... Just skip all the way back to the start of the logs. And again, it's that kind of working out, okay, what's their measurement system? The same kind of backtracking that you've done with trying to work out the star dates on the few logs that the captain left. You can scroll back and go, okay, it's here. Their home system is basically, as far as you're aware, that patch of space is mostly occupied by a nebula. There's not a lot out there, but it's not unreasonable that maybe in the middle of this nebula that there is a star and some planets there, and certainly that's what these logs indicate. That this ocean world is about 150, 160 light years away.
I will relay that.
That's in the middle of a really not very explored bit of space, because a couple of cursory scans were done of it a while ago, as far as you're aware, and well, not a lot there.
I pass this information on with a mind of something to look into, perhaps, once we are out of this.
And given that I decided I'd give you a couple of bits of information, you can also look a bit further forward in the logs at the tracking of this vessel's progress, the automated tracking once everybody was presumably in cryosleep. And then you start to notice there's a slight drift in the numbers. Instead of it just being in a nice straight line, it's almost like there's a slight curve, very, very slight, to the trajectory. Skip forward in the log to about 50 years after the launch of the ship, the Starlight Guide. And then just one of the automated messages just says, error. And then the ship just carries on.
That is a very distressing. There's a lot not said in that.
I didn't say you'd give you loads of info, but I gave you a piece of info.
No, it's at least. So how long has it been? Can I work out that they've been dead?
Since the error message.
Yeah.
The error message came up about a century ago.
Jesus Christ. That's the only point of error or misfunction that I can see in this log.
Certainly in what you're looking at, which is effectively the flight plan, and the is this tracking with the flight plan.
Yeah.
You have that very slight curve away from what you just would have expected to just be a dead straight line through space. And then there's that error. And then the ship just carries on.
Grim.
Seems that a tragedy has taken place here.
Yes.
As the captain says, we should focus on neutralizing the computer systems.
Yeah, I'm trying to get to grips with security.
Yeah, I can't remember if you gave me a number for what was your roll for?
You hadn't. I haven't rolled yet.
Oh, okay. Roll as engineering for checking out security systems.
That is 7.
Yeah, you can. It takes you a couple of checks around some of the consoles to go. This one, nope, that's engines. This one, nope, that's also flight plan. This one, nope. And eventually you find the one that looks like it's where where if you had a security officer on this bridge, they'd be getting their feed from. And again, it's a lot of automated messages, a lot of different looking automated messages from the last couple hours, rather than just the usual nothing. There's suddenly a lot of potential threat in cargo bay. Captain and first officer sent to bridge. So, yeah, stuff that you've seen happen. So, checking out. And from this, you can kind of back calculate where the security feed is coming from to this. Remember that other door that had all the data coming in and out of it?
Mm-hmm.
Right, and it's probably coming from there.
The door with the next
Not on
next door.
Yeah,
Sorry,
not
yes.
the door itself.
Sorry,
but,
yeah. I'm paranoid about these doors. All right. So that's probably the house.
I mean, the security system is hooked up to all the doors, which you can see from here because you can now see.
Mm-hmm.
There is now a thing on the screen to indicate reports of when doors have been opened and shut and where people have been coming and going. Or where people have been coming and going. Which the ones where it's like unidentified matches up with your movements. But yeah, you can track down that this is where the security system is housed, or where its servers are kept.
And security servers are basically next door. Has there been any response to, say, like Casey's investigations?
No reactions to that yet.
All right. It doesn't seem to necessarily mind us poking around on the bridge systems. Can I find out whether or not the first buddy that we met, was he sent for us? Is there any indication of that? Or was he just out there and decided to give a shit?
Let's see. Yeah, you got a 7, I'll give you that. Mm-hmm. Certainly, security sent a response to something weird something has happened in cargo.
Mm-hmm.
Response sent.
Okay.
You can match the timestamps up and go.
Because there's a difference between the doors don't want me to do a thing and we've sent someone to investigate in terms of degrees of security response.
Absolutely. Cool. There's the response sent. It doesn't specifically say, woke up crew number 19 and something to investigate. But yeah, you can match the timestamps up and go, okay, that's probably what the response was.
Mm-hmm. Right. All right. So on the one hand, security hasn't seemed to particularly care about us poking into the systems on the bridge, but I reckon that the first crew member was sent to investigate our appearance and opening and closing of doors and all of that. Security flagged that up as weird. So it is responding, but I'm not yet noticing either a pattern of escalation or that it seems enormously concerned about us. But I'm going to keep monitoring it and see how much of an obstacle it's going to be, and whether or not we... Basically, am I going to have to get extreme in turning this off if we want to find out more about this ship and possibly disable this ship? Is that reasonable, Commander?
I believe so, yes.
All right. I think basically someone should be monitoring security and getting ready to figure out how to unplug, monitoring it if someone does something which pisses it off, so we can calibrate. I'm happy to keep trying to figure out the best way to keep security sleeping, maybe forever, if Casey wants to carry on deep diving through, what was it the captain said, this gift to the anthropology department on a platter?
Yes. Happy to do so.
I mean, I get some retro tech. Starlight Guide. What? No one's like, it's cool.
No, it is. It's also horrifying. Once I'm past the horrifying, I'll be able to find it cool.
Though, Lieutenant, it is a fascinating example of a vessel of a cusp of warp society. So advanced and yet lacking in some core engineering features we would expect.
It is horribly, it's horrible. They died, and I'm not dismissing that. But at the same time, these people strapped themselves into a ship capable of only sublight speeds, even near light, which for them will have been cutting edge technology, and threw themselves out into the stars to try to find another home. And yeah, okay, they died. But here we are, 200 years later, on their decks, breathing their air, kept alive by the systems they made, watching their logs. That's all you can really hope for.
Yes. That's a very inspiring way to put it.
While their decision was deeply illogical, it does match many of the origins of certain Federation societies.
Also, we still remember and learn from the failures. Apollo 1, Ares 4. It's back into having not received the vibes. Reyes returns to her.
Unfortunately,
The GM gives you the vibe.
Unfortunately, she's getting the vibes from someone who agrees, but is a Vulcan. So it's just like, although again, for Zarlan and Casey, Talandra's expression absolutely micro softens because her view of how the humans developed warp is her going, is mine, is that the events of First Contact make me happy in my soul. And Talandra will incline her head towards Reyes and continue her security sweeping.
I had to go look up the fucking Ares 4 mission, which is track canon of one of the first missions to Mars.
I have a feeling that Ares 4 is used in like several things for first mission to Mars.
It didn't go great.
I don't think it's the first, but it one of humanity's early man.
I swear that was used in like several other science fictions.
They've made him a little mission patch.
Oh no!
They've got a fictional mission patch. Sorry.
Oh yes, I think since it's 11:05, rather than pick up more stuff, I'm feeling sleepy. Then, as Reyes gives this inspiring little moment and gets not a lot back from the rest of the crew.
You got plenty from Talandra.
Talandra's off the hook. Talandra is not the problem.
Yeah. Talandra gives loads, but is also a Vulcan, so Casey and Zal, on the other hand, have no such excuse.
Just a pointed in sad boy.
Reyes will learn how to read the Vulcan eventually.
Yes, as Reyes tries to be inspiring about this, and gets up to her elbows in security system, as Casey starts taking apart various computers and getting as much information as he can out the bridge. The camera will pull out from the bridge to leave the Starlight Guide, the Iskandar behind it, in the void of space. And we will pick back up next week. Unless anybody wants to say that they can't do next week.
Next week's good.
Yeah, I'm
Cool.
down
I'm
to
back
clown.
from the middle of nowhere and happy.
Good stuff. In
This
that
will
case,
also
yes,
it
this
will
will
also be my accountability. I will tidy this space more by next week. I guarantee.
Cool. So, I hope you've enjoyed session 2
yeah.
of
Yeah.
The Lonely Sea and Sky.
Yeah.
We got
Oh,
to
man.
meet some NPCs.
Oh, we
that
did
were a
not.
bit more
Race.
communicative.
Or not aquatic race, but ocean dwelling race, or at least ocean world, very focused race, going like, oh yeah, space, it's a big sea. Fine sci-fi tradition of viewing space as a big old sea.
Hey, I didn't use sci-fi to rip that speech off. Thank you very much.
Oh, I know, no, I mean, but like.
I
What
don't know,
did you rip it off from?
I ripped it off from John F. Kennedy's "We Go to the Moon in This
I
Decade"
thought,
speech.
yes, it was giving me. I had the vibe. I'm just not as familiar
Oh, yeah.
enough with it if you had the specifics. But yeah,
I mean, I did pick bits that weren't the "We choose to go to the moon
Yes,
in this decade to
because
do the
it
other
is
things," not
easy,
because it's
but
easy,
because
but
it's
because they are
hard.
hard. No, I chose other bits of the speech, but the whole
Nice.
speech is like full of sailing metaphors. So it's like,
Yes.
aha, yoink.
I feel I made the right choice. I felt like I did my homework by now having finished For All Mankind this week. As that was the right vibe to bring,
Yes.
having already just conveniently established that Reyes likes old tech, and also, like, I can't give a fuck about early human spacefaring. One, she's not human, and two, I have robustly established Athan as being like, I'm so sick of the Terran-centric attitudes of the Federation. So,
Talandra,
Hey, this isn't Terran.
no.
This is weird.
I cannot escape how Talandra, I try so hard to play like a proper Vulcan, and I do, but like then sometimes in my very soul, I'm just like, she goes, "Aw, humans,
Humans.
Oh,
it's okay, I'll
humans.
squish
They're
you."
there.
That's like a Vulcan, though.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is. But I
Yeah,
always-
Vulcans do just kind of go
completely. But I
"Oh,
always have to remember.
they're there."
I always have to remember to represent it properly and not the way I do, which is small boy baby.
Oh, you wish you.
Talandra is like. Talandra's like, yeah, we picked you up that day that you nearly blew yourselves up to go to
Yeah.
space. That was a big day for you.
Big day when our drunken idiot strapped himself into a rocket.
Big day. Unfortunately, these are our idiots now. Hello, we're humanity.
Hello, yes, we have adopted these humans. Some of us have adopted specific sub-branches of the humans.
Vulcans go back to Vulcan. They go, "We found these. Can we keep them, please?" And the other Vulcans go, "Oh, I hate it, but also I don't. Oh, hi, we want to be friends. Oh, they want to be friends."
I mean, like, don't forget, first contact was descending, doing the thing with Zephyr Cochrane. Second contact, or really arguably first contact stage 2, was Zephyr Cochrane introducing the Vulcans to his bar and his music. Like,
and teaching them to do a high five.
yeah.
It's my favorite thing that the end of that movie will make me cry every time because the Vulcans came to be our friends, and that is the cornerstone of how I play Talandra.
Can we
New
do
friend.
patrons soon? Because I need to go to bed.
Okay, very well.
Yeah, I did also notice that you were looking like a sleepy boy, Michael. So.
Okay, in which case we'll rocket through these. Hold on to your butts, everyone. Trash bags in the chat, if you will, for these fine fettled individuals who have respected our ability to create things by giving us money in order to do so. Much love and respect to Charity Wars Gaming. I'm so sorry, I pluralized the wrong thing. Charities Wars Gamings, Dinkledore, The Armchair Egyptologist, Ken Poyner, Kiwi Tokueka, Photosynthetic, Eligos Alexander, Liz Murphy, Michael Crees, Andre Cherubnin, Joe, Lou Sutcliffe, Araloki, Socky, Henry Prestige, Caffeine Kitty, Hobbs at 138, Mike Kilburn, who is sleepy and deserves sleep. James Malloy, Mike Fielding, Michael Bowman, and of course everybody's favourite named member of the Trash Crew, the one, the only, Helena Handbasket. Go to
See you
bed.
next week, everybody.
See you next week, folks, for
See you
what
next
happens
week.
next on this sad ghost ship. Bye!